All right, so go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What are we looking at?
My name is Mike Alonso. I got an 86, actually an 85 Corolla GT-S. It's the second one I've owned. I love these cars.
I mentioned earlier when I was walking around recording cars, this has always been like my childhood superhero car, especially with the initial D kind of stuff. And like this thing was like my fantasy. 4AGE, rev it out to 8,500, 9,000 RPMs. And the fact that it was cheap rear wheel drive, I'm obsessed with this car. I freaking loved it. Now you've mentioned this is your second one. Let's go back to the original kind of, why this car? Why have you fallen in love with this, and how did you come about finding this second one?
So I think it all started, like most of us, on TV screens watching comics, fantasizing about drifting through the mountains of Japan. And as I turned into an adult, I had the opportunity to finally pick one up in real life. I bought it, loved it, fell on hard times, had to sell it. And I chased after this second one for the past 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I finally had the chance to get another one. I jumped on it. I snatched it up. I'm not going to let this one go.
Absolutely. So this is a keeper car, kind of a forever kind of thing in your garage?
Very much so. I think there's probably maybe 3 cars on the planet that I'd be willing to get rid of it for.
There you go.
And it's not even the value so much. It's just the fact of, I just love these cars. I love driving them. They're not fast, but they're fun.
No, exactly, and that's what I'm hoping with this kind of new kids, new generation that are spoiled with 500, 600, 700 horsepower cars. There's nothing like a lightweight, high revving, manually shifted cars of the late 80s, early 90s that I really hope that people kind of appreciate.
No electric power assist, like manual windows, manual everything. It's just that you can feel the road when you're driving them. You feel like you're part of the car. You can feel the throttle resistance, the clutch. I mean, you can feel the RPMs literally vibrate through the vehicle. It's just you're connecting with everything at that point.
So let me ask you this. You sound like a passionate kind of driver, and you say all the right things that, in my book, I love to hear. What kind of got you into this culture, into driving? Where did this kind of stem from, you think?
So my father has been an auto restorer since I was born, before I was born. He's restored many, many classic cars, motorcycles, everything. So I grew up in the car.
Right
I grew up in a garage.
Yeah.
My first car I had at 14 was a 78 Caprice Classic Coupe.
Oh, nice.
I threw Camaro suspension on it and stuff, and I love that car. So I've just been, buying and selling and building and my whole life practically. This is one of many of the cars I own. So for me, every car is a beautiful car. I enjoy aspects of all different vehicles. I just enjoy driving them, collecting them. I always make a joke that my mom threw away all my Hot Wheels as a kid, so I grew up to collect all my own real Hot Wheels.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Now, what do you think in terms of? You sound like you've experienced with all different kind of cars.
Oh yeah.
What makes you love or gravitate towards this one right here?
Again, honestly, it's just the nostalgia. If it drove terrible, maybe I wouldn't like it as much, but it drives fantastic. Mm-hmm. The fact, for 1985, you got literally everything you could ask for in a fun package. In my opinion, there's not very many cars like that for that era. And it still holds true today. It's the styling, everything about
the 3-door hatch.
Yeah, everything.
And even the coupe, even the 2-door.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a beautiful car too. It's just something about these cars. They're timeless.
Yeah, exactly. I do like it's clean, simple lines, timeless. I love how you mentioned that. Now, let me ask you briefly about the new ones. The GR86, the FRS, BRZ GT86. What are your thoughts about those, considering you have the original?
Honestly, the newer ones, I really like the hatch. The hatchback looks beautiful. I've seen a few of them around here on bags and whatnot. They look gorgeous. I wouldn't really put them in a category of sports car per se, like this one would be put in, or track car or fun car. I don't know, maybe they can be. The GR line looks pretty sick, seems to be pretty sweet. I have have to get in one and really play with it, you know, and actually drive it. I don't want to just judge it based on paper. But I think it's cool that Toyota's trying to reach out to other, you know,
I love
groups
I
and
think
not
they
just
need
stick
to.
with their own, you know. So I think it's gonna be nice to see what comes of the whole GR line. 85.
85. Dude, look at that. I love it. Last question. I'll let you go. Thank you again for talking with me so much. Again, I freaking love this car. California is transitioning to electrification in the next 15 to 20 years. What are your thoughts of electric cars and the future of the car culture? We have pay subscriptions now. You have a whole plethora of things coming down the pipeline. What are your thoughts?
I'm not a fan, to be honest. I give those cars credit, you know, where it's due, as far as, you know, the miles per gallon they call it or whatever. But I'm not a fan. I don't think I'll ever own one. If it comes down to that, I'll leave the state. I mean,
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I won't do it. I won't give up, you know, my passion for all my toys just because the state made a law. You know, that's fine. Keep your law. I'll bounce.
I really appreciate your time. Go ahead. I mean, I'm in agreement with you, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And hopefully they come up with new solutions that we can keep these cars running.
Yep.
Go ahead and give out any shout outs or any thank yous that you wanted to give out.
Honestly, I just appreciate the whole car scene. Everybody's, you know, the drive and the camaraderie. You know, it's just a fun time coming out. Everywhere I go, everyone's so cool. So really, that's, you know.
That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you again so much. I'm going to do a quick walk around just with the car and my GoPro, but again, I really appreciate you.